Mackenzie Johnston with Cattle News Central, bringing you your September 2nd cattle industry headlines. Brought to you by AgRisk Advisors. They manage your risk so you can manage your operation. They are the experts in educating, evaluating, and executing risk management programs for each individual operation while also providing top-notch customer service. Now is the time to start thinking about enrolling in the Pasture Rangeland Forage Program for the 2023 crop year. If you want to learn more about this, reach out to my friend Alex and Naya. He can set you up with a tracking policy so you can understand how the program works firsthand. AgRisk Advisors, risks averted, legacies preserved. Drovers has reported the average cost of feeding a steer to finish weight was 25% higher for cattle marketed last week year over year, and is projected to be 31% higher year over year for cattle placed on feed this week at roughly $600 per head, according to Sterling Beef Profit Tracker. For the week ending August 27th, which that was last week, feeders saw average profits of $138 per head as the 5 area fed steer price averaged $145.61 per hundredweight. That price was 15% higher than what we saw last year during the same week. Estimated beef packer margins for the same week were $126 per head. That was down $24 per head compared to the week before, and down 89% compared to last year during the same week. Last year at this time, packers were making upwards of $1,100 per head. Meeting Place has reported, according to Rabobank's latest quarterly report, global beef demand remains strong, but sustained higher prices are sending consumers toward less expensive beef cuts. The research firm believes declining consumer confidence in the wake of slowing economies and rising inflation is building. The report found the majority of beef retail prices continued to increase or held steady throughout the second quarter. Beef prices range anywhere from 5 to 11% higher compared to what we saw last year at this time. According to Rabobank, consumers are turning away from pricey cuts and expensive restaurants and instead are opting for ground beef and fast food options. Rabobank also reported on the outlook for cattle markets remaining favorable thanks to season conditions, specifically down in Australia and Brazil, and because of strong demand in U.S. markets. This update is also sponsored by Circle 5 Cow School. If you want to learn how to preg check your own cows or start AIing, Circle 5 Cow School is definitely the way to go. Almost every week, they are hosting classes somewhere between Texas and Tennessee. They do a fantastic job. A couple weeks from today, they're going to be down in Danville, Kentucky, hosting a school. If you were in that area, I encourage you to check it out. And if you just want to check out the rest of their schedule, head on over to www.circle5cowschool.com. That is the number 5 in there, or you can go ahead and just give them a follow on Facebook. Drovers has reported, as the whole cattle industry has been talking about for the past 2 days. On Wednesday, Walmart announced it will invest in Sustainable Beef LLC, the proposed $325 million beef processing facility slated to be built down in North Platte, Nebraska. The retail giant declined to disclose the specific amount of its investment. However, we do know that it will acquire a minority in the rancher-owned packing facility and have representation on Sustainable Beef's board. Additionally, the retailer will get the majority of beef produced at the facility. So this is not Walmart's first rodeo when it comes to partnering with producers. 3 years ago, the company announced a partnership with 44 farms to source high-quality Angus beef for about 500 of its stores down in the Southeast. Walmart's senior vice president said at the time of this partnership that the move was a step towards making the beef America eats better. Walmart wants to change the dynamics of the beef industry. Quite an interesting statement. The announcement on Wednesday puts the retail giant one step closer to changing those dynamics. Walmart said the partnership with Sustainable Beef helps supplement the current beef industry and provides additional opportunities for ranchers to increase their business. That is, if ranchers produce exactly the kind of cattle that they want. So a quick refresher, Sustainable Beef plans to process 400,000 head per year. 100,000 of those are going to be cows. The plant will employ 875 workers and is expected to generate 1,000 jobs in supporting businesses. So this is going to be great for North Platte. They need all the help they can get. Groundbreaking is scheduled to start this month, and the facility is slated to open in 2024. So this is fantastic news. Sustainable Beef, they have the green light with funding. They can go ahead, they can start moving dirt, they can start construction. We're going to actually see this plant come to fruition. We're going to have increased packing capacity. That's what our industry needs. This is definitely good news. You do have to wonder about a corporate partner stepping into this situation. When the news first broke about the sustainable beef plant being built back in 2020, I believe, when that news first broke, the statement was made that 5 years from now, the packing plant will be privately owned. And we now have a corporate player in the plant. But as I said, the corporate player is going to get the wheels turning to increase packing capacity for our industry. But a person does have to wonder how corporate influence will now impact sustainable beef, especially since the plant was sold on a platform of being owned by feeders, ranchers, common people, just like you and I. So Walmart, they are all about cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. That is why they have had the success they have, and they have built an empire. And by doing that, they have destroyed Main Street, small America across our nation. The amount of main streets that have been driven into the ground because we have seen Walmarts come into our little towns is unbelievable. Walmart is just, in the retail, in the grocery world, Walmart could easily be compared to the big four in the packing plant world. So just a worry of mine with the whole situation is that we could see this situation turn into somewhat of a vertically integrated plant where Walmart dictates exactly how these producers that are supplying the plant with cattle dictates exactly how they want their cattle. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Possibly it could be a situation somewhat like we saw up in Northeast Nebraska with Costco coming in and all their chicken barns up there and that vertically integrated model. And hopefully it does not turn into that. But again, as I said at the beginning of this news story, it's all about packing capacity in our industry. And that's what we need. And with Walmart behind sustainable beef, the funds will be there. They should be able to make it go. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because we all know these packing plants, they're coming online at a terrible time with our numbers being so low. But with Walmart's money, it looks like sustainable beef is going to be able to keep their head above water. That is all I have for you guys this morning. I hope everyone had a great week. I hope you all stayed cool. It has been terribly hot here in central Nebraska. It seems like this heat is never going to let go. You guys have yourself a wonderful weekend. I'll catch you next week.